It was supposed to be a normal flight, but in the span of a few minutes, humiliation, arrogance, and a shocking slap would turn into a life-changing twist. The flight attendant thought she was powerful, but little did she know the woman she insulted was married to the very man who owned the airline. The morning sun shone over the busy airport as Amara Johnson, a young black mother, walked through the terminal with her 6-month-old baby in her arms. She looked tired, dark circles under her eyes from sleepless nights of feeding and caring for her child. But despite the exhaustion, she walked with dignity. Her husband, David Johnson, was away handling urgent business matters, and she had chosen to travel alone with their baby for the first time. What no one around her knew was that David was not just a businessman. He was the CEO and majority owner of the very airline she was about to board. But Amara never boasted about that. She was a humble woman. As she approached the gate, her baby started crying. She gently rocked him, whispering soft lullabies. The boarding announcement was made, and she walked forward with her ticket. Inside the plane, the air smelled faintly of coffee and disinfectant. Amara found her seat in economy. She didn't mind traveling without luxury. She wanted her son to grow up grounded, not spoiled by money or power. The baby whimpered again. Passengers began staring, some rolling their eyes. That's when the flight attendant arrived. Her name was Melissa, a tall woman in her late 30s with a perfectly tied hair and a permanent look of superiority on her face. From the moment she saw Amara, her expression hardened. Melissa leaned down and whispered sharply, "You need to keep that baby quiet. People paid good money for this flight." Amara gave a tired but polite smile. "I'll do my best. He's just a baby." Melissa scoffed. "Well, maybe you should have thought about that before traveling alone. Don't ruin the flight for everyone else." The words cut deep. Amara bit her lip, holding back tears. She didn't want a scene. She focused on soothing her child. Minutes passed. The plane took off. The baby cried again, louder this time, his ears hurting from the pressure. Amara tried everything, rocking, feeding, humming. But Melissa stormed back down the aisle. Her voice was loud now. "That's it. You're disturbing everyone. If you can't control him, maybe you shouldn't be on this flight." Passengers shifted uncomfortably. Some looked sympathetic. Others nodded in agreement with the flight attendant. Amara's face burned with embarrassment. She whispered, "Please, I'm trying my best." But Melissa didn't care. Her temper snapped, and in a shocking moment that silenced the cabin, she slapped Amara across the face. Gasps echoed through the rows. The baby wailed louder, terrified. Amara froze. Her cheeks stung. Tears welled up. She couldn't believe what had just happened. One passenger pulled out their phone, recording everything. Another shouted, "That's assault!" But Melissa stood tall. Terrible. Amara sat silently, rocking her baby, her pride shattered. She wanted to scream, to fight back, but she held it in. What Melissa didn't know was that justice was already on its way. When the plane landed, Amara walked off quietly. Melissa smirked, thinking she had handled a difficult passenger. But outside the gate, Amara was greeted by a group of men in sharp suits, her husband's personal staff. And moments later, David Johnson himself walked in. Passengers gasped. They recognized him from the news, Forbes magazine, and business television, the billionaire airline mogul. He rushed to his wife, his voice shaking with anger as he saw the red mark on her cheek. "Amara, what happened? Who did this?" Tears spilled as she whispered, "The flight attendant. She slapped me in front of everyone." David's face hardened. He turned toward the airline crew. His presence commanded silence. "Who dared to lay a hand on my wife, the mother of my child?" Melissa froze, her arrogance melting into panic. She stuttered, I didn't know. I didn't realize." David's voice boomed through the terminal. "You didn't realize? You thought you could abuse a woman because she looked tired? Because she was black? Because she carried a crying baby? You represent my airline, and this is how you treat passengers?" The passengers cheered. Some shouted, "Fire her." Others clapped in support of Amara. Melissa fell to her knees, begging, "Please, I didn't know she was your wife." David's eyes blazed. "That's exactly the problem. You shouldn't treat any woman, any mother, any human being like that regardless of who they are." Security escorted Melissa away. In the following days, the video of the incident went viral. Millions watched as the truth unfolded. Amara became a symbol of dignity and resilience. David announced sweeping reforms in his airline, new training programs, strict zero-tolerance policies for staff misconduct, and a public apology from the airline. But for Amara, the most important thing wasn't revenge. It was knowing her baby would grow up in a world where kindness and respect must always triumph over cruelty. She whispered to her son as he slept peacefully that night, "You'll never remember this day, my love, but Mommy will, and I promise no one will ever make you feel less than who you are." The story that began with humiliation ended in justice, love, and a powerful reminder. Sometimes the quietest people carry the loudest truths. And that was the day a flight attendant learned a painful lesson. Never underestimate the power of a mother's love, nor the truth hidden behind someone's silence.